fortunately for my wife and I, we're at our place here in Solana Beach, and based on the education, you've heard the story, and my wife's desire to, as things started to turn around for us in 2013 and 14 and 15, and we were out of most of our debt, a lot of our debt, and it was time that we were working pretty hard to get where we needed to get to through in real estate. And, an opportunity came for us to start looking at a place in California. And so we were fortunate enough to buy this property. The story is pretty amazing. We were able to get owner financing on it. This property has gone up by over $250,000 in equity over the last 4 years, and it rents out as a nightly rental. We're able to come here and stay and block out time and really enjoy it. It's less than a mile from the beach, and it's right by the Del Mar Fairgrounds. We didn't do much research this time. We should have, because they had a pretty major concert, like a Woodstock type concert at Del Mar this weekend at the fairgrounds called Kaboo, which was absolutely sick. Mumford & Sons and Snoop Dogg, and I mean the lineup was insane. Duran, I mean it was crazy. But there was people everywhere. It was an awesome time. So, but it was sold out. We ended up not going. We had other things going on, but so we're out here. We drive out. I get some work done in the car, and then we're doing a few things. We're looking to improve the property. Did a little inventory on what needed to be done and what needed to be fixed and what needs to be replaced and what new equipment we can do, new cosmetics we can do, and new furniture we can do for the property. And then, we spent most of the day yesterday looking at new property, right? Or not most of the day, I guess half the day, looking at new property and looking at the opportunity for us to move to a beach house, right? And what they run. And, look at properties that are just overlooking the beach for, $1.2 million, right? And the opportunity is there when you, with the system. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the whole story, but the most important thing, and I think what I'm trying to get at is we don't always know. Like I didn't know. I knew what I wanted, kind of. I knew what it was possible, but we don't always know what's probable, right? And so when we're on this phone and we think about, or this webinar, and we're at meetings and stuff, and we hear some of the stories of what, Michael buying some land and John O'Neill selling a house for $190,000 and splitting a lot, and all the crazy stories, Nate Lambert making $143,000 in a month. They just, and these are just some, you guys, obviously there's Dan Clark, the numbers he's doing, everybody, all you guys that are doing just great things. Keep the goal in mind of what it is you're trying to do, because I tell you, if you know Bob and what he's about, even if you don't know him personally, if you haven't met him or if you haven't spent a lot of time with him, there's one thing I know is that he believes in the system so much, he's willing to give his entire life for it. And what I mean by that is, like, he knows that it works. He knows that if people do the work and they follow the system and they invite people and then they learn while they're inviting, right? So they earn while they learn. They earn through inviting and they learn the education first. And then they go out and they apply the education through their coaching calls, through their experiences with the community. In due time, in a relatively short period of time, success will happen. And folks will be able to perhaps quit their job and dive into real estate full time. And when you do that, the doors open up, right? And you guys are already experiencing this anyway. But we don't necessarily realize that you could buy a beach house. You don't necessarily realize, especially you guys. Like if you think about where I was in 2000, you guys know my story. So, and we all have similar stories, right? With some sort of, like we don't, we just don't necessarily, like, we know real estate's there and we know the opportunities there, but we don't know necessarily the possibility of owning whatever it is you want to own. Like maybe, for example, it's Raphael and his Mercedes. Like he knows that it's there,